Hello and welcome back. We have Corné with us in the studio. So, Corné,
Yes.
I don't think you need a introduction into the community. You are a well-known Umbracian. He's an MVP in Umbraco community as well, and a very good friend of mine. He's very active in the community, talking, blogging, and a generally nice person as well. So,
Thank you
it
very
is my
much.
pleasure to welcome you on stage. So, you are going to be talking about Discord and Umbraco. So, do you want to add something a little bit more fun to the context of your topic today?
No, I don't think nothing in particular. Hopefully, I will be able to get some people excited, give
Yeah,
them some
of course.
suggestions of what they can do for themselves. Yeah, and hopefully get them to do something. So yeah, if at least one person gets inspired by today's session, then I'm very much happy.
Yes, of course. I think you wrote a series of blog posts around
I
this
have,
talk
yes.
as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Are you going to be directing users to those blog posts as well? Because I think it does contain a story of how you arrived at this talk as well.
I will. I will. There's also some code related to this which I can check out. So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Then take it away whenever you are ready with it.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Okie dokes.
All right. Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all very much for being here with me today. My name is Corné, and I would like to welcome you all very much to my session of today, Empowering Communities with Discord and Umbraco. So, before we get to the informative part of today's session, let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Corné Hoskam. I'm a software engineer over in the Netherlands, working for a company called I.O. I've been working with Umbraco full-time for quite some years now, starting with Umbraco 6, now all the way up to Umbraco 11. Umbraco Certified Master as of last year, also first time Umbraco MVP, and I have my own tech blog, which mostly consists of Umbraco-related content. But enough about me, let's talk about Discord and Umbraco. So during this talk, we're going to be discussing 3 different subject matters that will hopefully get you excited about using Discord in combination with Umbraco. So first off, we'll be taking a look at Discord, what it is, why you should use it, and what you can do to integrate with it. After that, we'll be taking a deep dive into the various possibilities of Discord and its APIs, taking a look at some common use cases, and see what you can do to integrate Discord with Umbraco. And finally, we'll be doing a live demo to see the actual various use cases in action. So first off, what is Discord? Discord is a free voice, video, and text chat app that's used by tens of millions of people around the world to hang out with their communities and friends. Initially released in May 2015, Discord's initial goal was to become a user-friendly social platform mostly targeting gaming communities. Over the years, however, when the audience of Discord expanded outside of the realm of gaming, Discord changed its motto from originally being chat for gamers to now being chat for communities and friends, mostly as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So now people use Discord on a daily basis for many different things, ranging from their creative outlets, family trips, study groups, mental health support, you name it. So for today's talk, we'll be looking at Discord from a developer's perspective. And to do so, we'll be starting off with the central hub of Discord's API, being the Discord Developer Portal. The Developer Portal is, like I said, the central hub for pretty much controlling and managing your applications. Besides that, the portal also gives you access to things like management for teams. You can find the official documentation of Discord's APIs here, and also various tutorials to help you get started on your way. And let's take a look at the various options that we can do to actually integrate with Discord. So from within the portal, there are 3 kinds of integrations we can use, being games, apps, and bots. During today's session, we'll be mostly focusing on bots, but let's quickly gloss over the first 2 as they can become powerful assets for you as well. So first off, we have game integrations, or more commonly known as rich presence integrations. When enabled, rich presence is an addition to a user's public profile, which you can see on Discord, which was originally created to easily exchange game information like your username, friend codes, lobby passwords, stuff like that. From this profile, you'll be able to see more detailed information about what and even how you are playing your game if you wish to share that information. As a game developer, you also have full control over the metadata that you actually wish to display during the various stages of your game, which, like I said, will allow you, for example, to quickly send invites to each other or perform various actions like spectating. There are also various other platform integrations that follow suit, like Spotify in this case, which is fun, especially if you're someone like me who loves to shamelessly listen to Christmas music, even if it's already January. So the second integration that we have is using Discord for apps. One of the most powerful use cases for this would be the use of OAuth 2 authentication through Discord. This will allow your applications to authenticate users through their Discord accounts. From within the developer portal, you can specify the various scopes that you wish your application to have access to and the various actions that they are able to perform once connected to your Discord server. Let's say, for example, being able to see what servers you're in or what permissions you have on your servers. A wonderful example for this would be an integration written by Sean Thorne, who has created an implementation of Discord's OAuth API into the Umbraco backoffice, allowing you to sign in via your Discord credentials. Be sure to check out this open source GitHub repository shown right now. So the third integration we will look at today, and that we will be diving into the deepest, is using Discord for bots. Bots are a powerful addition to your Discord server that present themselves like fake user-like members, but with an extensible programmable API behind them. This API allows you to perform a wide range of actions, like sending messages, modifying roles, handling events. Because of the way the Discord API is set up, you can pretty much just use any programming language of your choosing to talk to this API. During today's talk, we'll be using the Discord.NET library, which is an unofficial open source .NET wrapper around the API, but there are a bunch of unofficial libraries out there for various languages, like Node.js, Go, Ruby, PHP, Java, just to name a few. So now that we have a general idea of what Discord is about, let's see what we can do with Discord bots from both a server admin and a developer's perspective. So there are an infinite number of use cases we can think of for Discord bots, but let's take a look at a couple of the most used scenarios and the ones that I find personally the most interesting myself. All of the examples that we're going to look at today have been made using the Discord.NET library using .NET 7. So the first common use case we would use bots for would be server moderation. Of course, we all hope that everyone within our community behaves according to our code of conduct, but sadly, that's not always the case. Discord itself has two moderation options, being the ability to kick a user or to ban them permanently. But with bots, we create a more flexible system that scales the bigger our community gets. Some example features of this would be the addition of a warning system that logs a user when they have been warned and take additional disciplinary actions depending on the amount of warnings they have received. Discord itself doesn't support temporary banning either, but with a bot, we can easily code up something like that to unban a user after a set amount of time. So next up would be the acknowledgement of server rules or a code of conduct. Just like Umbraco has a code of conduct for their social platforms, so do many other communities, big and small. Let's take a scenario in which we want to create a system where the user must actively hit an accept button on the rules to have access to the rest of their server. One of the possible ways we could set something like this up would be using message reactions. For those who are familiar with a platform like Slack are probably familiar with reactions, as they allow you to add an emoji to a specific user message. With the use of a bot, we can easily make it so that the member automatically gets assigned a role that grants them access to the rest of the server as soon as they give a specific reaction. For this, we can, for example, use Discord's reaction edit event, which is fired from our client, shown in a code example right here. Another common use case would be to have the ability for the bot to automatically respond to a specific message. This could be, let's say, a specific command, maybe commonly used messages, answers, questions that you have. More often than not, stuff that gets repeated more often that you wish to automate within your community. All one would need to do is listen to, let's say in this case, the message received event, which is fired from our Discord API. And the rest is up to you what you want to do with that message. Let's say, for example, check its contents, send it a specific reply, anything you want. And lastly, another common, but even a more fun use case would be to add some gamification to your Discord server. The definition of gamification is entirely up to you, but a fun basic example would be the use of, let's say, a game of rock, paper, scissors on your server. Making use of the message handlers that we've just taken a look at, combined with a random number generator, and having the bot read our choices of either being rock, paper, or scissors, we can easily code up a game within less than 50 lines of code. So Up until now, the use cases that we've discussed may be interesting, but we're at an Umbraco event today. So I wouldn't be standing here if there weren't some awesome opportunities that open up when you combine Discord with the Umbraco CMS. So let's take a look at what we can do. So for our first example, I've created an extension to the message handler use case we've talked about by using Umbraco as its center. Instead of hard-coding specific messages that we wish our bot to respond to and the triggers for said messages, why not use Umbraco to configure them? In this example, I'll be referring to them as commands, as I've made them require them a specific prefix, and in this case being a question mark for them to be triggered. If we look at our content tree in Umbraco, we can start off by a server instance, in this case my own little test server on Discord, and underneath that we have a collection of various commands with a list view for us to easily manage the commands, in this case the triggers, and the responses that we wish our bot to handle. So like I said, in this collection, we can easily create, edit, and update the various commands, making it a friendly solution for those who wish to use a functionality like this on their own server without having to write any code themselves. We can even expand upon this functionality and make our responses even smarter by allowing certain placeholder values to be replaced by our bot at runtime based on the environment that our commands get run in. For example, let's say adding a user's username, we can check whether he's live streaming or not. We can output the channel name that we are currently running the command in, server count, the member count on our server, pretty much any variable we can throw at it that we can fetch either from our application side or from our Umbraco side. So hopefully the demo gods are with me today, as we'll try to do a live demo for this. So let's see if everything goes correctly. If I switch from my screen and that over to my solution. And hopefully I will get everything running properly. As you can see, I currently have my Umbraco solution running. Hopefully I can see it all doing what it is supposed to do. See, it is connecting just perfect. Then I will log into my fancy Umbraco 11 back office. Hopefully that's my password incorrectly the first time, of course. There we go. That's a lot better. So as you can see in the example that we've just talked about, I currently have a collection of various commands over here. I can change them up if I wish to. In this case, I have, for example, created a community day account, or command, sorry. Now, if I were to go over to Discord, and in this case, let's say community day, my bot will automatically respond with, welcome everyone watching live from Umbraco Community Day. So the fun part with this is that I'm not only able to fully manage both the trigger and the responses of this message, but I have the full range of options that we have by ways of formatting. So let's say in this case, I want to make this text bold. I know that the formatting options from Discord are two asterisks on either side. Now, as soon as I hit save and publish and head back over to Discord, if I were to run the same command again, we will see that the last part of our sentence has now been made in bold. So this will make it a lot easier for you to keep in store the various, let's say, commands or responses, questions that you get asked often, anything like that. Pretty cool. Let's see. Go correctly. Perfect. So for our second example, let's have the arrow pointing the other way around. And instead of having Umbraco doing something for Discord, let's have Discord do something for Umbraco. Because of the way a library like Discord.net works, it's not much more exciting infrastructure-wise than it being a powerful API wrapper, which means that we can utilize all the shiny features that Umbraco 11 and .NET 7 have to offer, like dependency injecting anything Umbraco related into our Discord bot. So to extend upon this custom commands functionality we just looked at, why not add the functionality to create new commands from within Discord itself? We can inject services like the Umbraco Context Factory or any Umbraco service like the Content Service and have it do what we wish to based on a user-performed command, like adding more commands. So using this method, we can have our bot add a new node to Umbraco, have it set the values of said node depending on the parameters that we give on our command, have it published, and immediately be able to use it as just shown right here. So let's go to demo part 2. So if I were to head back over to my Discord, let's see, open white, there we go. And let's say I believe the command that I named it was also called add command. The first parameter that I want to respond to this would be, let's say, Umbraco. And the sentence that I wish for it to respond would be, hello everyone, using Umbraco. Hit enter. Our bot will respond with, hey, we added command Umbraco to our server. If I head over to our commands collection in Umbraco, we will see that our bot has now successfully created a new node. And that's pretty much it. Because if I were to head back over to Discord and use the command that we have just added, we will see we'll be able to use it straight away. Pretty powerful. And if you still wish to make any modifications, you can simply head back over to Umbraco and do what you wish to do with it. Another powerful use case would be to combine the events that get triggered by the Discord APIs with Umbraco's notification handlers. If you've worked with Umbraco before, you have most likely stumbled upon one of these notifications in the past, or events as they were used to be called, like for example the content publishing notification, media saved notification, or member deleted notification. But did you know that you can use Umbraco's event aggregator to create and fire your own custom notifications? Let's say we want to send a notification to our Umbraco application whenever someone joins a voice channel or a voice chat in Discord. We will then be able to write a notification handler to perform a specific action based on the notification we have just published in the same way you would handle any other out-of-the-box notification from Umbraco. You could use these notifications for, let's say, informing users in a voice channel that an event is currently going on, that they're being recorded, or even keep track in Umbraco of how many users are in a voice channel at a given time. For example, what we have done in the code, and I will hopefully be able to showcase this, if this all goes well. So what we've done is I created a new type of notification, which I in this case called the joint voice channel notification, which inherits from the iNotification interface and has a couple of properties. In this case, I am interested in storing the Discord user that triggered the notification, the state of their voice state before triggering the notification, and the state after, which in this case means if we want to join a channel, the voice state before will be null, and the state after will be a state where the user is in a channel. The same way we would register this on Umbraco would be something like this. Where in first case, we take care of the user voice state updated event, which gets triggered from Discord. For this, we will then be able to parse that event onto the event aggregator from Discord, from Umbraco itself, and then publish our new notification with the properties that are in it. So like I said, once we have also registered this in our startup class, which I've done in this case, we'll be able to see that once I create a handler for this, which in this case will be able to simply console log whatever we are doing once this notification gets sent. If I were to head back over to Discord, and let's say we head over to our voice channels on the left, a general voice channel, I'm joining that, it's connecting over there. I should notice that my account has officially joined the voice channel and that this event gets triggered. So again, only an example, but the creativity is all yours, what you wish to do with the options. And our fourth Umbraco example for today would be the implementation of gamification. This one may be a little bit less obvious, because how would a game aspect involve Umbraco? Well, because we have full control over what kind of gamification we wish to add and what we wish to use our CMS for, how about we create some sort of leveling system using experience points? The more messages a user sends in a server, the more experience said user gains, which in turn can unlock certain goodies or roles. You could, for example, automatically give a certain role they unlock as soon as they reach, let's say, 100 experience, or just name an abstract number like that. You could even take it a step further if you wish to do so, and turn it into some form of currency system, allowing even further virtual goodies or rewards in your server, or even third-party game integrations where you wish to unlock certain stuff as soon as you reach a certain level. just make sure you obey the Discord terms and conditions when you get into stuff like this. So for this, we could use Umbraco as the perfect management panel for our leveling system, with, for example, the use of a package called Construct. For those who don't know, Construct is a back office UI builder that allows us to easily create custom back office integrations using a Fluent API. This will allow us to create a custom dashboard hooked up to a repository, let's say in this case, for a database, in which we can see and manage all our users' server statistics. So for those with a keen eye, would have noticed that there is one tab on the top that isn't there by default in an Umbraco installation, which I've named repositories. And if I head over to there, I will see this fancy dashboard created by Construct. So on the top, we'll be able to see some general cards that I've created with some general statistics. In this case, our bot is being active in one server, test server. We have a sum of the total amount of experience that our users have collected, and we can get, of course, let's say, the number of users that we have. Underneath that, a simple list view of the various users in our server, and at the bottom being my alternate account I'm currently using for this demo. Which is even cooler because I'm also able to open it up, see all the information that goes along with that user, and modify the information that I wish to use it for. So what I've done in this example is I've made it that for each message that I send in our Discord server, I'm getting 10 experience points, and once I reach level 100, I will level up. So let's say I am going back to our server. I can disconnect from our voice channel now. Let's say hello, simple as that. And if I were to refresh our Discord environment, we will see that my experience points have increased from 50 to 60. Now, if I were to spam a whole lot, I've removed the timeout for this on purpose. I should notice that once I reach level 100, you might have noticed that my color has changed. And in this case, I've been assigned a role called level 1, which means I've leveled up. Now, if I were to do this 10 more times, if I'm really lazy and my bot will hopefully catch up with me in the meantime, it should, as long as my internet connection here is stable enough. There we go. The next part will be, you will see, I've went to level 2. So again, it's just a very basic example of what we can do with Discord integration and gamification. In any way you wish to either promote user activity on your server or anything you wish to do, really. So after everything you've just seen, we have only scratched the surface of what is possible using the Discord API with Umbraco. If you're interested in setting up an Umbraco-powered Discord bot for yourself on your own Discord server, feel free to check out the corresponding code repository over at my GitHub profile, where everything we've looked at today is open source and available for use if you wish to do so. So with that, I hope you learned something interesting today about the world of using Discord and Umbraco together, and I even gained some inspiration to empower your own communities. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. You can find me on Twitter at Hoskam, or head over to cornéhoskam.com to stay up to date with my latest articles or blog. But for now, I would like to thank you all very much for your attention, and hopefully see you all in the next one. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back. And we have Corné joining us on the stage now. So Corné, how did that go?
Perfect. Yeah, the demo gods were pleased with me today, so I'm very good.
Okay, are you building on top of what you are doing so far? Okay. Had to happen sometime. Yes.
That's better.
Okay. Hello and welcome back. So we have Corné back on the stage with us. That was Speak Inception. Okay. So I take it went well. So
Absolutely,
what
yes.
you have is a little Discord bot.
Mm-hmm.
So are you planning to build on top of it, make it exciting or extend it further?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any particular features planned right now, but I do have quite some inspiration, especially from the Discord community that I've been talking with since the last week. For example, with Sebastian from the Umbraco HQ himself, who was quite interested in setting up an RSS feed to automatically update or post messages in a Discord channel. A Discord bot would be a perfect example for something you wish to do so. Which you can create for something like this. And even have Umbraco be the part where you can actually manage the various feeds that are connected. So lots of opportunities.
Oh, that's good to hear. That is absolutely good to hear. Hank, can we bring up the chat for a minute and see what is going on at the chat? Whether someone has questions? No. Okay, fine. So, I think it's time to introduce our next game for the afternoon session as well. So, sometime in the next 1 hour, one of us, it could be me, it could be Corné, it could be Callum, any one of us is going to come in and say a phrase, which is headless chickens. So the person who who finds that phrase out, tweets about it with the hashtag Umbraco Community Day is going to win a t-shirt. Yeah. So the competition starts now. So watch out for the word in the next 1 hour. Okay, so do we have the next speaker on? Roy. So do you want to come on stage, Roy, for a minute before we then